Okay, so we've come to our learning outcome 2 for method and tools for analysis. So in today's session, we're now going to understand the principle of user experience with UX and domain context for data analysis. So when it comes to user experience and domain context analysis, we have now summary of them, where we'll now look into them into details. So we have key topics such as user, effective results, experience principle, intuitive and engaging analysis, avoidance of jargon, avoidance of stereotyping, easy to understand and flexible to use. So these are all our key topics when it comes to our user experience. Let's now look at each of them in detail. So what do we mean by user? Our end user is the central function when it comes to focusing in design and implementation of data analysis tools. So understanding our end user needs, preferences, and expertise levels, it is very important for now creating an effective user-friendly analytics solution. So example here, we are conducting user research to gather insight or user requirement, engaging with user through feedback session and usability testing for refining tools and interfaces. So as we said, it's really important to now create that relationship, build that relationship with our end user in order for us to understand what are going to be the requirements in order for us to succeed. Effective results. So when it comes to analysis outcome, should now be meaningful and directly support decision making. So effective results are now those that provide clear, actionable insight that might drive informed action. So highlighting key trends and anomalies in dashboards, providing recommendation based on data insight. And with experience principle, we're now going to apply generational user experience, UX principle, which ensures that data analysis tools are user-friendly and efficient. For the examples, we're now going to maintain a consistent design language across all data tools. Also, we're going to provide immediate feedback to ensure actions such as confirming data updates. Intuitive and engaging analysis. So with these tools, they're now designed to be easy, navigable, and visually engaging. So this has to be very user-friendly, and you will now involve using clear interactive elements that are going to facilitate interaction and understanding. So example for this user-friendly navigation can be implementing drag and drop interfaces for creating custom reports. When it comes to avoiding of jargon, we're now going to be using plain language to ensure that defining tools are accessible to all users regardless of their technical background. So we have to keep it as simple as possible, which has to now benefit the usability for each level of users. Also, we're now going to avoid stereotyping, where we're basically going to present the data without bias. Ensures that the analysis is fair and unbiased. So we're going to avoid stereotyping, which means that there are no making assumptions about data based on demographic or other categorical variables. So, example for this, we're now going to ensuring that data sets include diverse samples. Easy to understand. Again, we have to make it very easy to use, very intuitive. So we can see that data of the presentation of the data should be clear and straightforward, making it easy for our user to comprehend. Flexible to use, again.
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
Flexible to use in usage and enhance user satisfaction and effectiveness. So, example for this is now going to be allowing users to customize dashboard and reports to fit their specific requirements. So to conclude the summary, we now understanding the principle of user experience and domain context is essential for creating effective data analysis tools. So now we're going to describe the importance of domain knowledge for effective data analysis. So what do we mean by domain knowledge? This it bridges the gap between raw data and meaningful insight by providing the necessary context to understand and interpret data correctly. So is now going to be focusing on its relevance to the business understanding and the evaluation steps in the CRISP-EM model. So when it comes to business understanding, this is the first step, which we'll explain in our previous tutorial, where in this stage, we need to set the purpose. We need to understand what is the purpose of our business. And this is the first step in the cross-industry standard process for domain mining model. So this will now involve comprehending the project objectivities and also we now have to look into identifying relevant problems. So once we have set our project objectivities, we now need to look into what could be the problem. So domain knowledge will now help us to identify the most relevant business problem that will need to be addressed. Setting objectivities, which will aid in setting realistic and relevant objectivities for data analysis projects. Formatting hypotheses, where with domain knowledge facilitate the formatting of meaningful hypotheses. Example, in a retail context, an analyst with domain knowledge can identify the customer segment is crucial for personalized marketing strategies. Evaluation, where in this phase simply going to involve assessing our data mining results before deploying them to ensure that they meet our business objectivities. Interpreting our results. So with domain knowledge, this allows us to interpret the result accurately. So our analyst can now understand the implication of finding with the specific business context, avoiding misinterpretation that could lead to a low description. Validation of models. So this helps in validating the model used in data analysis. Addressing impact. So domain knowledge enable analysts to assess the potential impact of their analysis result on the business. So they can now evaluate how insight align with business goals and predict the real world outcome of implementing the insights. So to conclude, I can now say that domain knowledge is indispensable for effective data analysis, as provide the necessary context to understand and apply data insight meaningfully. Now I'm going to look at the importance of domain knowledge for effective data analysis. So after describing the key topic of domain knowledge, now we need to see, when applied to data analysis, how can we make this effective? How can we use the full potential of domain knowledge? So we're now going to explain the importance of domain knowledge, particularly in relation to how user generate and consume data. So user and data generator. So users are often the primary source of data, generating vast amount of information through their interaction with system, product, and services. Also, we have to understand data context, where domain knowledge helps in understanding the context in which data is generated. For instance, the e-commerce setting, knowing how users navigate and interact with website, will now provide insight into their behavior and preferences. Also, we now have to identify relevant data points, what allows analysts to identify which data points are most relevant. Ensuring that we have data quality, where with the domain expertise will now be essential for recognizing anomalies and ensuring data quality. User and data consumer. So users are now going to consume data through reports, dashboard, and recommendation, which are going to inform the decision and action. So when it comes to the importance of domain knowledge, we now have tailored analysis to user needs. So understanding the domain help in tailoring analysis to meet the specific needs of users. Providing actionable insight, where domain knowledge ensures that the analysis result are actionable and relevant to the user context, which is going to help in transforming data, finding into particular recommendation that user can implement. Enhancing user engagement. So by presenting data in a way that resonate with users, domain knowledge, analysis, and make the insight more engaging and easier to understand. Domain knowledge in user and stakeholder interaction. So how do we make it effective with our stakeholder interaction? This can be done successfully with the data analysis project, particularly during requirement gathering and explaining results. So the importance of domain knowledge. We're now going to look into requirement gathering. So we now have to get with our initial stage where we're now going to gather as much data as possible. This is basically going to enable analysts to ask the right question and understand the specific need and challenges of stakeholders. Explaining results. We're explaining analysis results. Domain knowledge allows analysis to communicate finding in a way that it is meaningful to stakeholders. Building trust and credibility. We're having domain expertise. We now build trust and credibility with our stakeholders. This is where we have now built relationship with them. So to conclude, domain knowledge is indispensable for effective data analysis, and as it ensures that data is understood and interpreted within the correct context. Users will now generate valuable data through the interaction, and understanding this context help in identifying relevant data points and ensuring data quality. So we'll now come to our distinction learning outcome, where we're now going to evaluate the ways that data analysis can influence user behavior. So we're now going to evaluate the ways that data analysis can influence user behavior. So data analysis has the power to significantly influence how our end user is going to act by providing insight that will now guide us for decision making. So we're now going to evaluate several ways that data analysis can shape and influence user behavior. This can happen through personalization, where we're now going to involve tailoring expertise, context, and recommendation to involve user based on the data and behavior. This can be impact of user behavior, such as increased engagement, improved user satisfaction. E-commerce, where, for example, we have Amazon uses data analysis to recommend products based on the past purchase of and browsing history. Streaming service, such as Netflix analysis, viewing habits to suggest movies and shows to keeping our user engaged and subscribe to their service. Target marketing. When it comes to target marketing, our data analyst now enable target marketing to identify specific users segment and tailoring marketing efforts to those segments. So what are the impact of our user behavior? we're now going to have a higher conversation rate, reduced ad fatigues. Also, we have social media, where Facebook uses data analysis to deliver targeted ads based on the user demographics, interests, and online behavior. Email campaign, where businesses use data analysis to send personalized email campaigns to segment list, resulting in higher opening and click-through rates. So behavioral nudge, a subtle prompt or chances in the way choice are represented to encourage desired behavior within restricted freedom of choice. So what are the impact of on the user behavior? It's now going to have a encouragement of positive action, increased compliance. So for example, we have health apps such as fitness apps use reminders and reward to nudge users to exercise regularly and maintain healthy habits. Energy consumption, where utility companies use data analysis to compare household energy usage to that of the neighborhood, nudging users to reduce consumption. Enhanced user experience, where data analysis improve overall UX by identifying pain points and area of improvement through user feedback and behavior analysis. So the impact of on the user behavior, we're now going to reduce friction and increase usage. Example for this, we have mobile apps where the developers analyze user behavior to identify where users drop off and make improvement to the app interface and functionality. Also, it is important for customer service, where companies analyze customer service interaction to identify frequent issues and improve support processes, leading to high customer satisfaction. Predictive analysis. Predictive analysis involves using historical data to predict future behavior, enabling proactive decision-making and intervals. Impact of user behavior, such as proactive engagement and optimized operations. Example for them are telecommunication, where we have companies which are going to predict which customers are likely to cancel the service and offer targeted incentive to retain them. And when it comes to retail, retailers use predictive analysis forecast for inventory needs, ensuring that popular products are in stock and available for purchase. So to conclude our distinction activity, we can now say that data analysis profoundly influences user behavior by enabling personalized, targeted marketing, behavioral nudges, enhanced user experience, and predictive analysis. So all these strategies will now lead to increased engagement, satisfaction, and loyalty by ensuring that user receives relevant and timely content, recommendation, and support. So this was everything for today's session. there any question?
Thanks, Victor. No, again, all really clear stuff that's already, relevant to the job role that I already do. Stuff that, yeah, I do pretty much on a daily, weekly basis. So, yeah, no, that was good. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Johnny. So if we don't have any other questions, then I will see you tomorrow.
Right, see you tomorrow. Have a good day, Victor.
Have a good day.